there they are in their red jackets carrying the class banner. You may have noticed a 25 on the stage. The president of the class will receive that shortly. And at each successive reunion, they'll see that banner. And on their 50th in 2075, they will be fortunate to carry in that banner again.
This is a huge honor for people who have graduated from MIT as they go past their 30th and 35th and 40th reunion. They're always looking forward to that 50th reunion when they get back together as a unified class, all wearing the red blazer. I've had the privilege of knowing many members of 50th classes in the past, and it's always been one of their high points of their lives.
So they are proceeding. They have come out from Building 4, and they are proceeding across to the center of Killian Court, where they'll continue over, and they have a special seated area just across the way, actually, from where Todd and I are sitting. You're noticing those red vests that say commencement staff. Over 500 members of the staff and undergraduates volunteer to serve as ushers, hosts, information help, security, advisors, but most especially in the Killian Court to make all of our guests feel as welcome as possible. Today you are part of the MIT family.
This is a true privilege for MIT staff to volunteer at commencement. We have people from all over the Institute, as well as Lincoln Laboratory, which is managed by MIT under contract for the Department of Defense. It's located about 20 miles from campus. But all of the staff at Lincoln Laboratory are employees of MIT, and they participate in the benefits plans, and one thing they can do is come here and volunteer at commencement. So it's always wonderful to see them as well.
So the new innovation, that green staff shirt that you saw was John McDonald, who is the architect of all of the commencement logistics. So we all look to him, those of us who work here on these various celebrations. And you can see they are now, the class of 75 is being ushered into their special seating area right up front next to the stage.
So it's going to take another couple of minutes for them. There's their special section now, and they will start to fill in the seats. Once that has been completed, then we will be welcoming the academic procession. And Deb, let's tell the audience a little bit about who is going to be participating in that academic procession.
So as we mentioned earlier, leading that off is the Chief Marshal. That's Natalie Anderson, who is the president of the Alumni Association. There are 148,000 plus living alumni of MIT from every country and continent around the world. They're followed by the president of MIT, Sally Kornbluth, the 18th president, and the chair of the corporation, Mark Gorenberg. And then some very special guests, Governor Maura Healey, the governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, who is an ex officio member of MIT's corporation, Raphael Reif, who is MIT's 17th president, and of course our guest speaker, Mr. Hank Green.
We'll also be seeing right behind Hank Cynthia Barnhart, who has been the provost of MIT for many, many years. She will be stepping down at the end of this academic year, and a new provost will be appointed. And then following will be other dignitaries from the faculty, including some marshals and senior leadership of MIT, vice presidents and deans. And following that, we will have the corporation division. The corporation is the governing board of MIT, and they will be well represented as well.
One of the secret sauce of MIT is the advisory boards. These are formed by the corporation, or visiting committees rather, and they visit every department at MIT over every 2 years, and they really help advise the Institute on how to keep our curriculum cutting edge, what they are advocates. They're not critics. They are advocates for helping MIT be its absolute best to become really, in the words of our founder, William Barton Rogers, his vision was a university that one day would overtop all those in the land.
And these visiting committees include people from all walks of life, including industry. And industry, of course, has been a very important component to MIT, especially following World War II, when a lot of the funding from government ended, and MIT looked to industry to help fund research on campus, and industry looked to MIT to help them spark innovation. That's about when the MIT Office of Corporate Relations was formed, that I worked for 25 years, and its industrial liaison program that brought beneficial relationships between large corporations and MIT through facilitated access. And so we have, over the years, identified leaders from large corporations and small as well to participate in those committees.
So following the corporation will be the faculty, and then, of course, we will begin the ceremonies.
We're seeing the tail end now of the 50th reunion class enter their positions. The academic procession is lining up in their places just outside of the courtyard, and once we announce them in, they will start marching across and up the center aisle, and you will be able to see them in all of their wonderful regalia and the symbols of the mace and the shepherd's crook that Deb and I described just a little while ago. And this set of ceremonies has gone on for many years. Now, please rise and welcome the academic procession.
So we're getting a great pan of the class of 1975, who I think probably could not have imagined themselves being in their early 70s and being here at MIT and being quite so ancient. This is the class that brought Bruce Springsteen, Born to Run.
So Deb, it's time for us to turn things over to the main program. It has been a pleasure working with you once again, and we will see you next year and hope that you enjoy the ceremony.
Thank you very much, and again, congratulations to all of our graduates, and thank you to the faculty and staff who have worked so hard this year to make it one of MIT's best.
So long, everybody.
The corporation and the faculty of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology are now declared convened, together with this assembly, on the occasion of the OneMIT Commencement Ceremony of this institution and in recognition of the degrees being conferred on the class of 2025. The stage assembly and audience will please remain standing for the invocation by Reverend Thea Keith Lucas, chaplain to the Institute, and join the choraries of MIT in singing of one verse of the Star-Spangled Banner. So please rise.
As we begin, some user instructions for the experience of awe. If you were our cousin, the chimpanzee, and you encountered a rushing rapid or a raging wildfire, you would know what to do. With hair standing on end, you would sway rhythmically and hoot until the monsoon storm of feeling moved through you, leaving a clear inner sky and a quiet watchfulness. We Homo sapiens think we know better, to be polite, to stay chill. But today calls for our wild primate wonder. We walk onto this court and suddenly see ourselves as this improbable idea, the university, a place with room for all the good questions and curious people of the wide world. An institute as fragile and imperfect as the human beings who create it, and yet crackling with the drive to change the world. A precious ideal worth fighting for. And how can we not feel awe at you today? Like the tiny droplets that make up a great waterfall, the millions of moments when you chose to push, to work, to learn, and to grow, come together into this one step forward into life. If your hair starts to stand on end on your arms or the back of your neck, if your spine wants to sway, if your chest is about to burst with a brave shout of joy, let me assure you, you are doing it right.
Twilight's last
Please be seated. It's my privilege to bring to the stage the Honorable Maura Healey, Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and our guest speaker, Mr. Hank Green. We are also pleased to welcome our alumni celebrating their 50th reunion in their red jackets, the class of 1975. We're honored that Governor Healey is with us today to offer greetings from the Commonwealth. Maura Healey is the 73rd Governor of Massachusetts. In 2022, she became the first woman elected governor in the state history. And the first openly lesbian governor elected in the country. She has prioritized affordability, housing, education, and transportation while making Massachusetts the leader in the global innovation economy. Please join me in welcoming Governor Healey.
That was a dog. Thank you so much, Chair Gornberg. To President Kornbluth, members of the corporation, faculty, staff, alumni, families, graduates, and the entire MIT community, I bring greetings from the state of Massachusetts, and I offer my heartfelt and personal congratulations to the class of 2025 and all of the graduates of this incredible Massachusetts Institute of Technology. On behalf of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I want you all to know how incredibly proud we are of you all today, for everything that you have achieved and for everything that you will do. As governor, I'm also proud that this world-renowned university and your hard-earned degrees bear the name of our state. There's an important connection between the Institute and Massachusetts. They're deeply entwined with one another. And MIT, I'll have you know, was chartered back in 1861 by the Massachusetts legislature with the charge to develop, quote, the practical application of science in connection with arts, agriculture, manufactures, and commerce. 2 years later, the Institute was designated one of America's very first land-grant universities, which transformed higher education in the United States and connected it indelibly to the public good. Today, you stand for the qualities we celebrate in Massachusetts that make Massachusetts special, a passion for learning and discovery that is so powerful, it changes the world. Curing disease, inventing technologies, solving tough problems for communities, organizations, and people all around the globe, making lives better and powering our economies. Thanks to all of you, Massachusetts is #1 for innovation and education. MIT's contributions to our knowledge economy and our culture of discovery are the pillar of both Massachusetts and our nation's global leadership. When we talk about MIT, what we're really talking about, especially today, is you, our graduates. I want you to know you make our state, our country, and our world stronger because this is who you are. Researchers, inventors, innovators, all with a passion for discovery and innovation. I appreciate you come here from across Massachusetts, some of you, and importantly, across America, and yes, very importantly, from all across the world. And we welcome our foreign students We welcome our foreign faculty. Wherever you are from, I'm glad you came here. And my hope is that you will stay. Put your talents to work for Massachusetts, a place where you are valued, respected, and surrounded by incredibly talented, engaged, like-minded innovators, investors, and more. I hope you make discoveries here, found your startups here, scale your companies here. We put forward some pretty good incentives through our economic development legislation, and we'll help you find a way to spend that. Just reach out to my economic development team. But in all seriousness, and I am a homer rooting for Massachusetts, wherever you go, wherever the next journey begins and takes you, I want you to know that here in Massachusetts, we will always believe in you because you stand for what is good in this world. You show how higher education delivers profound value to our state, to this great country, and to the world. You show how science improves human life and advances American leadership. You show why academic freedom matters and must be protected. You show why our diversity makes us more competitive, stronger, not weaker or less. And you show why international connections make us the strongest leader in the world, not weaker. MIT graduates, and to your families and friends who supported you in this journey, I salute you on this special day as you prepare to go out and change the world. And every day, I guarantee that in Massachusetts, we stand with you, we stand with our universities, we stand with our students, our scientists, our innovators, our faculty in everything that you do. Thank you, and on behalf of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, congratulations.
Governor Healy, thank you for those wonderful words and this great charge to this audience. It's now my great privilege to introduce our commencement speaker. To the class of 2025, when we asked you to describe your ideal speaker for this momentous day, you told us to find someone smart, wise, creative, funny, and hopeful. So we found you Mr. Hank Green. Now, anyone graduating from MIT today has had a lot of amazing science teachers, but I suspect before you got to MIT, Hank Green might have been your favorite one. The guy you found on YouTube offering serious scientific answers to questions no one else was asking, like, do tattoos cause cancer? Why can't grocery stores be organized like libraries? And why can't we just throw all our trash into volcanoes? Together with his brother John, Hank has started a range of ventures that aim to help make a better world, including the Project for Awesome, which so far has raised more than $10 million for charity, and Complexly, the educational media company that produces those unforgettable YouTube videos. They're now used in high schools across the country, so far garnering more than 2 billion views. Perhaps unexpectedly, Hank is also a novelist. In 2020, he published A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor, the second in a pair of novels that, in the words of MIT News, grapple with the implications of overnight fame internet culture, and reality-shifting discoveries, and which happened to become a New York Times bestseller. Hank's endless curiosity, his infectious enthusiasm for science, his gift for making complex subjects accessible and fun, and his drive to make things better, all of that feels very MIT. In fact, it turns out we have the same motto. We pronounce it menses manus, but Hank says, make things, learn stuff. So we hope that he'll feel right at home in our community, and we are delighted to have him as our commencement speaker today. Please offer a warm MIT welcome to Hank Green.
Hello. Hi. Well, it's so fun to see you doing this because I get to play a game called Who Ironed Their Stole? Just you, right there in the front. Yes, good job. You are. Everybody else has all got a crease all over. Everybody's looking out of their stoles like, anybody? Yeah, good one. Pretty good. It's fun. It's fun for me. I hope you all also enjoy that game later when you're talking to each other. And you can be ashamed of your crinkles, every man. Hello. Oh, gosh. It's been really lovely to spend a little bit of time here and to see all of you on this very important day as you celebrate doing something really remarkable. I don't really do imposter syndrome, which is when you're in a place and you're like, I don't belong here. How did I get in this situation? I have a superior syndrome. It's called ha ha ha, I fooled them again syndrome, where you know you don't belong, but you're kind of pleased that you have once again convinced everyone cleverly that you do belong. So that's where I'm at right now. A man who some of you probably know as a TikToker, who recently blind ranked AI companies by how much they look like buttholes, am giving the commencement speech at MIT. And I can tell you this now because they can't take me off the stage. I've started already. So I'm here though, so I'm going to try and do a good job. So thank you very much to everybody for welcoming me out, all of the lovely people up here, President, Governor, surprised to meet a governor today, and the alumni, class of the 75. Hello, thank you for coming out. And also, of course, thank you to the extremely impressive and charismatic and attractive students of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology graduating class of 2025. You know, is it 2005? Sometimes when you get older, you never really quite know. So, to express my thanks, the average human skeleton has more than 25,000 calories, which is not probably how you thought I was going to finish that sentence. Also, most of your bones are in your hands and feet. That's more than 50%, just the hands and feet. Also, skeletons, bones, are very oxygen dense. They have a lot of oxygen in them, a lot of oxygen atoms. If you took all those atoms out and freed them, you could actually create enough breathable air to breathe for more than 24 hours. Those are some of my best bone facts, and I assume that a good way for a normal human to express thanks is with bone facts. And I gave you my very best bone facts because I owe you an extra special amount of gratitude because as the class of 2025, you have done me a favor where I asked all of you to fill out a survey, and more than half of you did it. I assume while you were supposed to be pea-setting or whatever that is, but instead you did this, and I appreciate that. I've really loved looking through your answers to these questions, learning a little bit about you, learning a little bit from you. One of the things I asked was, what was the most MIT thing you did while you were at MIT? And this was my favorite section to read, because some of it was definitely not meant for me to understand it. Like a lot of you talked about counting smoots on the Harvard Bridge, and that's great for you. Thank you. One of you was Tim the Beaver, so that's pretty MIT. Now that I'm looking at the teleprompter, I realize that Tim is MIT spelled backwards. I was today years old when I hit that fact. That's good. I wonder when Tim was formed. Do you guys have your brass rats on your fingers already? Is that, yeah, that's really cool. Okay. Another of you tried to, this is very MIT, tried to impress a date with train facts. I see you. Game sees game, except with bones. A lot, and I mean a suspiciously large number of people responded to this question just with one word, hack. In a way that was very felt conspiratorial and whatever it is that you did, maybe the statute of limitations isn't up yet, so you're not going to put that down in writing. But by far the most common word in this section, if I did a word cloud, was built. You built bridges and robots and incubators and startups and Geiger counters and an 8-foot wide periodic table and a ukulele. Is the ukulele person here? Hi. How's it going? Is it a good day? You're right in the front. I could almost crowd work you. I think probably that's not how commencement speeches work, though. The point is, y'all built a lot. And that is something that I found reassuring, because we are going to need a lot of building. As I was walking in here, I took a good look at all your shoes, but it turned out I did not need to look at them to know that I would not want to be in them. I think the only people who are jealous of you right now are the class of 2026, because I'm sure things will be even more screwed up then. But this is a messy time to be a college graduate heading out into the world. The attacks on speech, on higher education, on trans rights, on the federal workforce, on the rule of law, they're coming from inside the house. This is a lot. Meanwhile, the world is getting hotter faster. The sudden acceleration in the abilities of artificial intelligence, of communications, and of biotechnology promise huge opportunities and tremendous disruption. So, if I were you, I would want some advice. But, as previously mentioned, I am a TikToker who will now and forever be known as the first person to say the word butthole during an MIT commencement speech. So some of the advice, oh thanks, that's my first real applause line. So some of the advice is going to come from you. I asked in my survey, what would you say to your classmates from a stage like the one that I am on now? And I'm going to give you a selection. One of your classmates wrote this: I always forget which Green brother is Hank and which one is John. And if at all possible you could just imagine we're one guy, that would be superior, because that guy would be very impressive. But I don't need you to know the difference. We are close enough. Another of you, though, I liked this one. God, this podium is huge. Did you notice that? This is a lot of podium. It makes me feel little, like I'm a little guy. I asked about it. I was like, why is the podium so big? And they were like, it had to fit the seal. And then I said, you could just make a new seal. And they did not like that. Another of you said this: there is no one definition of success. The idea you have in your head of what success is going to change, and you should let it. Oh, that's some old person advice right there. Who are you? Do you have a 45-year-old out there? There's another piece of 45-year-old advice that one of you gave. It says this: open a Roth IRA. Did your dad do the survey for you? That's very dad advice. You should open a Roth IRA. Now is the time. Here's one of my real favorites. This one made me feel and think: collaborate and help each other. Be brave in reaching out and be forgiving in your interactions. I love that. That is so, this is technology, but people. Here's another one. Even if it won't work, no, sorry, I'll quote you directly. Even if it probably won't work, try anyway. And the final one, very MIT, don't start with the solution, start with the problem. Now, a lot of you might be thinking right now, did this guy just make us write his commencement speech for him? And to that I say, at least you didn't know that I didn't have Claude do it for me. I've had a pretty good time, and I knew I was going to have to do this, being kind of focused on the ludicrousness of my career. And it has been ludicrous, and I am happy to focus on that. It has been very weird. I have done TikTok dances to Elmo remixes. I've also published 2 best-selling science fiction novels. I've written fart listicles, and I have interviewed presidents, and I have made multiple videos about giraffe sex, and I've sold multiple companies. I have helped build an educational media company that provides free videos for everyone in the world who has an internet connection, and our content is used in most American schools. And thanks. Oh, thanks. And that is the part of the speech that I had to put in so that your parents could feel better about me being here, because to this point, it was like, okay. I left it as long as I could. I'm pretty good, it seems like, at having a good idea that I believe in and then just doing it, consequences be damned. And that has served me well, though it has not always been a super relaxing way to live a life. And I did all of that on a very uncertain and rapidly changing ground of online video and social media over the last 20 years. So perhaps, I hope, I do have something to say to a class of graduates heading out into an uncertain and unstable world. If I could attribute my success, whatever it is, to anything besides luck, it is that I cannot stop believing that there is any better use of my time than learning something new. It never even enters into my mind. If I learn something new that day, that is a good day. And this curiosity doesn't just expand the number of tools that you have access to and how well you're able to use them, it expands your understanding of the problem space. And that is so much of what ideas are. It's a bunch of tools that you can apply to problems, and it is understanding the shape and structure of the problems. And if wherever those things overlap, there's opportunity there. And so maybe the advice is very simple. Just be curious about the world, and you'll have everything you need for the future. And maybe it's almost that simple. It's almost there, but there's a really important thing here that I haven't gotten to in that equation. There's another question I asked you in my survey that I haven't mentioned yet. It was, what is giving you hope right now? And although one of you wrote Macallan 12, I don't know about that. Rein that in a little bit. Most of you talked in this answer entirely about people. My friends, my family, my peers, over and over again. People who care, people who focus on improving life in their communities, people who are standing up for what they believe in, people who see big problems and have the determination to fix them. At a school like MIT, I imagine that it can be pretty easy to focus on the building and less on the people. This is an institute of technology, after all, not an institute of humanities, but I read the humanity in your answers. And this brings me back to the simplicity of curiosity, leading you both toward understanding problems and acquiring new tools to deal with them. Because your curiosity is not out of your control. You decide how you orient it, and that orientation is going to affect the rest of your life dramatically. It may be the most important factor in your career. And my guess is that it's going to be really easy to focus on the very compelling and exciting and honestly not that complicated problem of just building ever more powerful tools. That's exciting stuff. I love it. I love it. I love those podcasts where I listen to people talk about building powerful tools. But even though the problem space, even though the problem space is much, much bigger, obviously much bigger than build bigger tools, it is surprisingly easy to never notice that. The most powerful mechanisms that steer our focus, I'm just going to say this, are not always designed for our best interests or the best interests of our world. We've got social content platforms that are great at steering our curiosities, but sometimes they're great at steering it toward things that make us afraid or keep us oriented toward only the most impossible problems or the hottest rifts in society. Meanwhile, we have the capitalist impulse. It's very good at keeping us oriented toward the problems that are most easily turned into money, and that means an overweighting toward the problems that the most powerful and wealthy people are most interested in solving. If we let ourselves be oriented by those forces, which I think are two of the most powerful ones that orient our curiosities, guess what problems we will never pay attention to, never be curious about? Is the everyday solvable problems of normal people. And I hope and I ask that you remain curious about your world's intensely diverse and massive problem space. These are solvable problems, problems that are not being addressed because our world does not easily orient our curiosity toward them. If you can control your obsessions, you will not just be unstoppable, you will leave this world a much better place than you found it. And this isn't about choosing between financial stability and your ideals. No, there is, as you progress in your career, there will be money to be made in these spaces because the problems are real. This is simply about who you include in your problem space and what you choose to be curious about. So with that in mind, here is my advice from my heart and my experience. First, don't eat grass. I had to say this for a very specific reason, and we're going to move on. Second, more importantly, one of the problems you will solve in your life is how you will find joy in an imperfect world. You might struggle with not feeling productive in that task unless and until you accept that your joy can be one of the things that you produce. Third, ideas don't belong in your head. They cannot help anyone in your head. I sometimes see people become like addicted to their amazing idea. They love it so much they cannot expose it to the imperfection of reality. Stop waiting. Get the ideas out. You may fail, but while you fail, you will build new tools. And then you'll send me an email and be like, I failed. And I'll be like, I'm proud of you. Fourth, because people are very messy and complex, you may be tempted to build around them and not for them. And I understand this. But remember to ask yourself, once a year or so, where do value and meaning originate? Where do they come from? Because they don't come from banks or tech or cap tables. Value and meaning come from people. People things are the hardest work, but often the most important work. Orient yourself not just toward the construction and acquisition of new and powerful tools, but to the needs of people. And that includes you, and it includes people near you, your friends and your family. I think that we can sometimes feel like the world is so big that like throwing a birthday party or making a playlist for a friend is just like way too insignificant a task compared to the enormity of climate change or AI or the erosion of democracy. But those thoughts alienate you from the reality of human existence, from your place as a builder not just of tools, but of meaning. And that's not just about impact and productivity, it's about, I'm just going to take that from the top. And that is not just about impact and productivity and problem solving, it's about living a life. Do not forget this. It is so special and bizarre to get to live a human life. It took 3 billion years to go from the first single-celled organisms to this graduation ceremony. And that's, for clarity, more than a quarter of the life of the whole universe is how long that took. Something very special and strange is happening on this planet, and it is you. The greatest thing that you build in your life will be not just your bones, though those are amazing, it will be you, yourself. And trust me on this, you're not done yet, because I know I'm not. But what you will be building is not just a toolkit. You will be building a person, and you will be doing it for people. When I asked you what you did at MIT, you said you built, but when I asked you what was giving you hope, you did not say buildings, you said people. So, to the graduating class, 2025, go forth for yourself, for others, and for this beautiful, bizarre world. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Green. Mr. Teddy Warner, President of the Graduate Student Council, will now give a salute from the graduate student body. Following this, Ms. Megha Vimuri, President of the undergraduate class of 2025, will offer a salute, after which President Sally Kornbluth will deliver her charge to the graduates.
Thanks for the kind introduction. My name is Teddy Warner, the President of the Graduate Student Council. Good afternoon, esteemed faculty, families, friends, everyone in the MIT community, and most importantly, all of the graduating students. Whether you're here in person or watching the live stream, we gather here to celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2025. I'm honored to represent today the graduate students of MIT. To each of the graduating students, you've accomplished something major here. You're joining the community of more than 148,000 alumni who are driving the future of science, technology, innovation, business, design, social sciences, and the arts. And while we were here, we all contributed to the advancement of the world in each of your fields of choice. But in addition to this, we've also contributed to many more areas, including teaching, public policy, leadership, service, and even in addition, distributing bananas to all of the students on campus. As many of the speakers today have said, this year has seen numerous challenges, including threats to federally funded research and the rights of international students in the United States to seek education, opportunity, and live without fear of unlawful detainment. It is a great privilege for each of us to attend and receive a degree from MIT, and this comes with a responsibility to give back to the community in any way we can. I implore everyone here today to apply the skills we've gained here to effect positive change in all areas of the global community, including making sure to communicate our work to a broad audience and even running for elected office. Everyone graduating here today has accomplished something monumental, which will prepare us to face these global challenges as leaders. Thank you, everyone.
Good afternoon, friends, family, loved ones, community members, and of course, the MIT class of 2025. I'm so incredibly grateful to be here with you all today to reflect on our time at the Institute, to celebrate what we have accomplished, and to encourage us to approach the future with intentionality and integrity. It is no secret that at this time, academic institutions across the country are shrouded in a dark cloud of uncertainty. The question of what will happen next echoes in our minds, and there is a lot of fear in many of our hearts. We must remind ourselves that when we came to this institution, we dreamt of the opportunity to make an impact on humanity. We have been given the privilege of access to a place like this, to a community like this, and it is now time to make use of it. We cannot allow fear to keep us from doing that. You have faced the obstacle of fear before, and you turned it into fuel to stand up for what is right. You showed the world that MIT wants a free Palestine. Last spring, MIT's undergraduate body and graduate student union voted overwhelmingly to cut ties with the genocidal Israeli military. You called for a permanent ceasefire in Gaza. And you stood in solidarity with the pro-Palestine activists on campus. You faced threats, intimidation, and suppression coming from all directions, especially your own university officials. But you prevailed because the MIT community that I know would never tolerate a genocide. Right now, while we prepare to graduate and move forward with our lives, there are no universities left in Gaza. We are watching Israel try to wipe Palestine off the face of the earth, and it is a shame that MIT is a part of it. The Israeli occupation forces are the only foreign military that MIT has research ties with. This means that Israel's assault on the Palestinian people is not only aided and abetted by our country, but our school. As scientists, engineers, academics, and leaders, we have a commitment to support life, support aid efforts, and call for an arms embargo, and keep demanding now, as alumni, that MIT cuts the ties. Now, I invite you all to join me in the tradition of turning the ring. Please raise your brass rat or grad rat bearing hands, and as you lift it off your fingers, notice that the beaver is no longer facing you. It is now facing the world. This is a world that we will be entering with an immeasurable responsibility. We will carry with us the stamp of the MIT name, the same name that is directly complicit in the ongoing genocide of the Palestinian people. And so we carry with us the obligation to do everything we can to stop it. Class of 2025, you are MIT. Pressure is nothing to you. I know you will take it head on, and I can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you, and congratulations again.
Okay, listen, folks. At MIT, we value freedom of expression, but today's about the graduates, so it's time for me to charge you all. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Governor Healy, who I'm so happy to have here. Okay, folks, there is a time and a place to express yourselves, and you will have many, many years to do it. Let's talk today about our graduates. Okay, so I have to give a shout out to the members of the class of 1975 in their incredibly fashionable red jackets. And of course to you, all the members of the class of 2025 and your devoted family and your friends. So at MIT, it is customary for the president to deliver a charge to the graduating class. And I'll start by reflecting briefly on the world we make together here at MIT. Now, as you've seen, at MIT, we allow a lot of room for disagreement, whether the subject is scientific, personal, or political. The friction of disagreement is a very effective way that we sharpen each other's thinking. And if you don't believe me, I urge you all to attend a faculty meeting. But in this disconcerting time, as we prepare to send the class of 2025 out into the world, I want to celebrate three fundamental things that we do agree on: the rock-solid foundation of our shared work and our understanding. First, we believe in the beauty and power of the scientific method. Winston Churchill once observed that no one pretends that democracy is perfect or all-wise. In fact, as he famously acknowledged, democracy is the worst form of government, except for all of the other forms that have ever been tried. And you could say the same with reverence for the scientific method. None of us would argue that it's perfect or all-wise. But the scientific method remains the single most reliable tool humans have ever devised to arrive at the truth about the physical world. It is designed to root out error, protect us against our own biases and assumptions, and provide a systematic way to turn facts we cannot see at first into knowledge we can act on. It is hard to imagine anything more useful than that. Second, we believe in the beauty and power of fundamental scientific discovery. The incredibly intricate, maddening, heroic, intoxicating process of exploration and testing that somehow got stuck with the bland label basic research. We believe scientific discovery is deeply valuable and inspiring in and of itself, and we know that it's absolutely essential for driving innovation and delivering new tools, technologies, treatments, and cures. And finally, from direct personal experience here at MIT, we know that we are sharper, more rigorous, more curious, more inventive, and more likely to achieve breakthrough results when we work together with brilliant people across a broad spectrum of backgrounds, perspectives, and viewpoints from across the country and all around the world. You do not find the big ideas in an echo chamber. And I want to say something I have said repeatedly. MIT would not be MIT without our international students. The beauty and the power of the scientific method, the beauty and the power of scientific discovery, and frankly, the beauty and power of the Institute's incredible global community. For those of us associated with MIT, these three concepts may seem almost too obvious to require explanation, let alone celebration. But we find ourselves in a bewildering time, a time when these concepts have never been more important and have rarely been in such peril. So now I offer my charge to the members of the class of 2025. To today's graduates, I hope and believe that in your time here, you've prepared yourself very effectively for the next steps in your life and your career. I wish you every success in that next step and all that come after it. But I must ask that each of you take on another job, a lifelong job, an urgent job. I need you all to become ambassadors for the way we think and work and thrive at MIT. Ambassadors for scientific thinking and scientific discovery. For thoughtful research of every kind, here and at universities across the country. For the importance of research to the advancement of our nation and our species. And ambassadors for the limitless possibilities when we understand, appreciate, and magnify each other's talent and potential in a thriving global community. This ambassadorship has no salary, besides your sense of its crucial importance. But I hope you will accept the responsibility, because no one else can make this case more effectively. And these concepts are the indispensable foundation of everything else we aim to achieve. There's only one way to get through MIT, the hard way. Each of you has done that, and in the context of historic challenges. May all the strengths and insights that you've gained here serve you brilliantly on the road ahead. Thank you all, and congratulations.
Okay, can I ask you to stop now? Please stop now. Okay. President Kornbluth. President Kornbluth, thank you for those inspiring words. It's now my pleasure to introduce Natalie Lorenz Anderson, the Chief Marshal and President of the MIT Alumni Association, who will greet the graduates.
It is my honor to recognize the class of 2025, the newest alumni of MIT. The entire alumni body, more than 148,000 strong, joins me in congratulating all of the 2025 graduates and officially welcoming you into the alumni family, your infinite connection to MIT. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lorenz Anderson, and to all our guest speakers, Governor Healy, President Kornbluth, Mr. Green, Reverend Keith Lucas, Mr. Warner, Visma Murray. I'd like to also thank our marshals, including the Marshal of the MIT Corporation, Terry Reagan, the Marshal of the Faculty, John Oxendorf, and the Chair of the Commencement Committee, Professor Leslie Norford. Congratulations and best wishes to all the families, friends, and of course the graduates of the class of 2025. The OneMIT Commencement Ceremony of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology is now concluded. At this time, would everyone please rise and join the choraries of MIT in singing the school song, followed by Take Me Back to Tech.
Technology, oh, varsity shop, with nothing to do but analyze air in an anometrical top. The differentiation of the trigonometric powers, the constant pi that made me sigh in those happy days of ours. Hoorah for technology, ology, ology, oh, the glorious old technology, ology, ology, oh, take me back in a special train to the glorious institute. I give the inspiration of the technological truth. I shun the physical part that take me back, take me back to tech. La 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 la. CITUTEOFTE CHNOLG comes after G. It's the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Hey!
Congratulations, class of 2025, family and friends. Kindly exit the court at Memorial Drive. Thank you.